Hey guys, what's up? So as usual, it's time to remake another one of those videos from over 4 years ago that went a little viral, in which people complain about being just slideshows. You know, with no narration, no commentary, no me on the video, nothing. Just images showing the games that I recommended back then. So today I'm going to remake the game, the top 10 best JRPGs for the PlayStation 2. In my opinion, of course, never forget that. These are all my 10 favorites. And as usual, I am going to be I don't do this on purpose, you know. Sometimes my top 10s get a little controversial. Like I said, not on purpose. It's just because it's my personal opinion and I'm sharing the 10 games that I love the most. So I'm sorry, but no Kingdom Hearts here, no Final Fantasy X, and probably not even one single one of the mainstream titles out there. Most of these games that I'm about to show are hidden gems. There are some mainstream titles out there, but before you start putting, hey, what about this game? Where's this other game? Where's that game? Well, those games are probably, my friends, on your own list. So instead of hating on mine, share your own, and let's begin. Number 10. Shadow Hearts and Shadow Hearts Covenant. I know, I'm cheating. Those are two different games, one being a sequel to the other, but I just couldn't decide which one to include on the list. They're both as great in my opinion, so it was kind of a fair draw. Now, what to say about these games that I haven't already said in my videos? As far as I'm concerned, I've talked about almost every single title in this list a million times before. Should I keep on praising the gothic structure in these games, their World War I setting, their amazing battle systems, their very well developed characters and their dark, excellent stories? These games deserve more love, and I seriously can't believe how underrated they still are compared to a whole lot of others that were in the same boat, now being kind of mainstream. So of course I can't include one on the list without including the other. So there you have my reason for cheating on my own top 10. Because these two games are amazing. Number 9. Persona 3. You know I'm a huge fan of the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, which includes their successful spin-off series Persona, although I'm not that big of a fan of that one. But when it comes to Persona 3, in particular the Fast Edition, which includes its direct sequel called The Answer, man, I just love it. This is a game that I've beaten 3 times before, each one having been as addictive as the other. It's probably the last Persona game in the series to include a lot of dark and twisted aspects that doesn't necessarily alienate itself from the previous 2 games, but not being quite as cheesy as the ones that followed. So to me, it's something in the middle. I first played it many years ago, and I have to confess that before it, I had never played a game like that before. School simulator, friendship simulator, creating, fusing and summoning demons? Nope, never heard of it before. So I'm glad I came across this great RPG back then. It was a really good experience. Number 8. Odin Sphere. I know I put this game on the hardest JRPGs of all time, and I still bitch about it every now and then, but nothing I said there means it's bad. Quite the contrary, it's an amazing masterpiece, I say, one that was remade a couple of years ago for the PS3, PS4 and PS Vita. But I've only played this version, the original, and I gotta say once more that it's probably one of the best action RPGs of all time. Truly a classic, a hard son of a bitch classic, but extremely addictive. The story, the music, and the characters just make it all the better, especially since you get to play as 5 different protagonists, experiencing the story through many different points of view. I thought this game was beautiful. Very original since, once again, I don't think I had played something like this before. And even though the game has some technical flaws, I still cherish it today without ever getting tired of recommending it. Even if you've already played the remake and liked it, I say give this version a chance. After all, it's the original, and from what I've read from you guys, it's the hard version. Number 7. Eternal Poison. Whenever I talk about PS2 favorites or PS2 hidden gems, this game always pops up. There's just so very few JRPGs with gothic elements out there that I have always thought Eternal Poison is unique in its own way. In this strategy RPG, you get to play at first with 3 different characters, each with their own party and plot going on. Later you get to unlock 2 more protagonists, now having 5 different routes within this awesome masterpiece. The story in this game is really interesting, and the characters themselves are quite the versatile party that you get to experience a lot of different emotions and moral perspectives throughout the game. The music, I have praised it a lot as well, being composed by several different people in Japan. I just can't get enough of this game. Truly an amazing hidden gem, and definitely a very underrated strategy RPG. Number 6. Tales of Legendia. This was the very first Tales of that I played in my life, so obviously there's a lot of nostalgia factor in it, because back then I didn't even know it was a part of a franchise. I know it's heavily criticized out there, but if you've seen my videos, you already know that I've stood up for it time and time again because I simply love it. With a beautiful soundtrack and a cast of characters full of emotional outbursts, full of passion, very well developed, Tales of Legendia makes up for whatever little defect it may have. I adore the battle system as well, a button-mashing party in 2D that makes you feel as if you were playing a fighting game. It's a really long RPG with a beautiful art and a very likable interface, so don't be turned off by its criticism. Play it and you be the judge. Obviously, it's my favorite Tales of ever. Number 5. Hack G.U. Trilogy. This is a game that is literally cut into 3 parts, recently remade as one game for the PS4. It's one of the best trilogies of all time in my opinion, even though that kinda contradicts the fact that I also think it's just one game divided in 3 volumes. But whatever the case, it's one hell of an RPG. Action-packed, story full of plot twists, excellent cast of characters, and the all-time original idea of having you play as the players as characters inside an MMORPG. There's 4 previous titles to this trilogy that are pretty good games as well, but nothing beats the G.U. games, or game, whatever you wish to call it. So since it's a pretty long game, with basically the same story and characters throughout the 3 of them, including the same type of gameplay and battle system, I decided to include it on this list as a standalone title, and not exactly 3 of them. Number 4. Suikoden III. As a hardcore Suikoden fan, I couldn't just leave behind the 3rd game in the series, and the first one released for the PS2. It's the only one in which you play as 3 different characters, later unlocking the 4th one. There's a surprise character to play as if you beat the whole game, having recruited all 108 Stars of Destiny into your army. So that makes it 5 characters to play as. But wait, there's yet a 6th one, as a matter of fact, but it's just, well, I'll let you see for yourself when you play it. It's one of the best Suikoden games of all time, the last one to be made by the original creator Murayama, and just like the others, an RPG with 3 different battle systems, each with them very unique in its own way. Did I mention it also has a very likable cast of characters? This game just has a lot of charm and a lot of nostalgia factor in it. Number 3. Suikoden V. Of course, my personal favorite Suikoden, and the last canon title in the series before the other two spin-offs. Now, I've already talked about the entire franchise quite a lot in my channel, considering it's my favorite video game series of all time, so it's no surprise. I have praised the battle system in this game, especially the war battles here being the best in my opinion, but the turn-based system for bosses and random encounters is also, from my point of view, the best. Let's not forget also about the duels, which can be pretty gratifying as well. Now, the gameplay of this game, especially surrounding the plot, can be a little slow at the beginning, but once it takes off, man, it becomes one of the greatest epic adventures ever. I know most people consider the second game for the PS1 as the best Suikoden ever made, but I will always stand by my opinion with Suikoden V. Number 2. Growlanser V, Heritage of War. For an extremely underrated and unknown game to be so high on the list, it will definitely make a lot of people fall from their chairs. It shouldn't be a surprise though, since it literally got the same place as my original slideshow video from over 4 years ago. But for those who haven't watched that one, I understand it might come as a surprise. A truly hidden gem in the second place of the list. Well, yes, because I think it's the best Growlanser game ever, also the first one of the series that I played, and also the only one that starts off with a lot of events in chronological order, giving you the opportunity to play as many different characters, each with their own little part on the plot as background story, before you can finally play the main quest. A real-time strategy RPG with a very unique battle system and one hell of a story to tell. So since I'm a fan of the stories with different routes and parties, obviously, it shouldn't be a surprise to you when I say that this is one of my favorite PS2 RPGs of all time. Number 1. Valkyrie Profile 2. But my favorite PS2 RPG ever will probably always be Valkyrie Profile 2. Graphics, story, characters, music, oh my god, a battle system that's extremely addicting once you finally get the gist of it, because I admit it takes a while to get used to. Also a very fun interface that offers a lot of variety within the game, including a very interesting and important skill system. Everything to make you abuse the amazing gameplay this game has. Seriously, this is one hell of a game that I will never get tired of recommending. That many people consider it below average and nowhere near being as good as the first one, but I think it's quite the opposite, as a matter of fact. Although that's just my opinion. I love this game, over 200 hours spent on it, several playthroughs, including one in which I overexploited the secret dungeon and took almost all of my characters to level 99. Yeah, I love it. That's it for this video, guys. That's my top 10. As you saw, not much change from the last one from over 4 years ago. This is one of the only top 10s that I'll be remaking that probably stays true or stayed true to its original video from back then. So I'm sorry if you're expecting something entirely different, but it seems my favorites are still maintaining their spots as my 10 favorites of all time for the PlayStation 2. Now don't be an asshole, please, and instead of hating on my top 10, share your own and share and share and share. That's the point of these videos, to encourage you to share your own top 10, to have your own opinion, and to be the judge yourself on these games. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time.